What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I know this is so hypocritical of me because number one, I said I was going to be not filming in this room anymore, and number two, that I am done doing any type of motherhood content and focusing on beauty and fashion. I lied. You guys over on Instagram were like blown away and shocked when I shared with you guys that I pushed my daughter out in 11 minutes and my son out in 9 minutes, and you guys were going crazy and were like, we need to hear more about it, and suggested that I do a birth story video. And I was like, well, he's already a year old, like it's kind of, you know, past the point, but you guys didn't care, you still want me to do it. So here we are, and I'm so excited because I love talking about the whole stories of my pregnancy, labor, delivery. It is a passion of mine, but on this channel it's going to be mostly beauty and fashion. But let's go ahead and jump back into motherhood for one more video. But before I go ahead and share that story, you guys have been asking me so much about the necklace that I've been wearing that says Kiki. I get multiple messages a day about it, and I was waiting to tell you about it until I got a discount code, and I did. This video is actually sponsored by them, and it is ITALO Jewelers, and they are so stinking cute. The website is so luxurious. The boxing, everything about them is just so nicely handcrafted. It's handmade, handcrafted jewelry, a lot of beautiful, unique pieces, and this is where I picked out this Kiki necklace, and it is so gorgeous. So I just want to quickly share with you guys so that way you can get the discount code. First and foremost, the packaging is so luxurious. What a great gift that you can just literally buy online, ship it to their house, and it's going to come like this. No gift wrap necessary. So beautiful. I got 2 pieces from them. Beautiful boxes inside. Absolutely beautiful. Love that blue. That's just a really nice, like, luxurious blue, you know. Comes inside with the silver polishing cloth. Love that. And really important, what I love is that it comes with the certificate showing that it is sterling silver. So that way you know this is good quality, not costume jewelry. Absolutely love it. So the 2 pieces that I picked out were first this initial necklace. It is so trendy. Everyone loves these necklaces. It is in a gold color. It sits beautiful and delicately against your neck. You could have your kids' names on it, your name on it, your husband's name on it. You could do a date, whatever you want. Just absolutely gorgeous. And the second piece I chose is actually a little sterling silver kind of cubic zirconian band to act as like my wedding ring. So my engagement ring has 3 bands already in it. So when I got married, I'm like, I don't need a wedding band, I'm fine. Well, now because I'm bougie and I want a wedding band, this is gonna hold me over until I can get a real diamond ring. It is actually shinier than my engagement ring, but my engagement ring is kind of dirty. I need to take it in and get like re-dipped. But anyway, love this jewelry, you guys. It is so nice. I love the website, very easy to manage. So if you're interested in getting either of these pieces, here is a discount code. It'll also be down in the description box. Go ahead and get yourself a nice piece of jewelry. And again, thank you to ITALO Jewelers for sponsoring today's video. Okay, I'm trying to get like comfy so that way I can tell you the story of my birth with Tommy. So let's go ahead and jump back to prior to getting pregnant with him. So quickly, I got pregnant with Lucy 1 year after we were married. It only took 2 months to conceive her, so I thought, wow, I know what I'm doing. I know my whole ovulation thing. I'm fertile, da-da-da-da. Got pregnant with her. Very easy pregnancy, labor and delivery, easy. With her, I was in labor like all day. Like my water broke at home at, I want to say 3 in the morning, and I didn't have her until 7 o'clock at night. So I did labor a very long time, but it was extremely easy, and I pushed her out 11 minutes. So that was wonderful. So fast forward to when Lucy was about 1.5 years, we decided that we were ready to get pregnant with baby number 2. And I just assumed, because I got pregnant so fast with Lucy, it was going to happen again. Not true. So we started trying, and not pregnant. Month 2, not pregnant. Month 3, not pregnant. Month 4, not pregnant. And I feel like if you are watching this, you've dealt with the negative test over and over and over, like, you know what I'm talking about when it's like a stab in the stomach. Like, it's just like, why am I getting emotional? It is gut-wrenching, and I can't even imagine for you women out there that have tried for years to get pregnant, and I'm like, 4 months, I'm never gonna get pregnant. You're probably like, wow, you are dumb. And I am, but nonetheless, it's still an emotion and we're allowed to feel those emotions. So I'm thinking, gosh, is something wrong with me? I'm taking ovulation tests, like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to be doing, and it's not working. Month 5, not pregnant. Month 6, not pregnant. And now I'm panicking, I'm thinking something's wrong with me, and nothing was wrong with me. God had other plans, and God knew when the perfect timing was. It wasn't my timing, it was God's timing. And month 7 came along, and there was the positive test, and it was just so overly exciting. And I didn't do anything like fun to tell Sam. Like, I wanted so bad to do something to tell Sam in a fun way, but I was so excited to see that second line finally that I couldn't help but like to scream to get him in the bathroom to come like double check it, you know what I'm saying? So that's fine, no big deal. So I got pregnant in July of 2018. To say that this pregnancy was completely different is an understatement, but by far with everything. I'm not even gonna call it morning sickness, I'm gonna call it all day sickness that I've never felt that bad in my entire life. With my daughter, I had no morning sickness at all. I never threw up, nothing. Tommy, oh my gosh, I legit could not get out of bed. It wasn't I was actually vomiting, it was that I was so nauseous that I couldn't get up, I couldn't stand up. So my poor little Lucy literally lived like on her little tablet, watching movies, eating goldfish and fruit snacks and anything that I could just like throw to her to eat and not cook. I felt so bad. I have no idea. I cannot even remember what my husband ate for dinner every night for like 2 months, 3 months. I have no idea what he ate. Probably like boxed mac and cheese. I couldn't eat. I couldn't fix food. It was horrid. It came to the point that I had to contact my doctor and get put on a prescription medication, and I can't even think of the name of it. So yeah, that was really, really bad, but the medicine helped tremendously, and I'm so glad that I took that because it actually made me feel normal again, and I could enjoy being pregnant because I really do love pregnancy and the bump and all that. So once I got my nausea under control, it was smooth sailing, wonderful pregnancy, nothing wrong with me or the baby, just perfect pregnancy. Up until probably like 30 weeks, until I started having like really bad like inner groin pain, like my inner thighs. I don't know what it was. It was the way that the baby was sitting, but I couldn't even roll over in bed. When I would try to like roll over, I would just cry out because it hurt so bad. So by the time I was like 35, 36, 37 weeks, I am like, get this baby out of me, okay? So I go in because at 37 weeks they started to check me internally to see if I was dilated or softened out at all, and no. 38 weeks, no. 39 weeks, no. Like, I think I was, by 39, 40 weeks, I was only like 1 centimeter dilated and like really not softened out at all. My body was like not there. So I was doing everything in my power, bouncing on the ball for hours on end, walking, spicy food, pedicures, like you name it, I was trying it. And baby boy just was not ready, and that's great and that's fine, but I was like, I'm in pain, get this baby out of me. So on his due date, I went to the doctor to get checked, and they were like, I'm so sorry, but you're not there. I mean, they were like, you know, you can go home and in a couple hours be in active labor. You have no idea what your body's gonna do, but as of right now, you're not close, we don't think, and so we're gonna go ahead and schedule you an induction for 1 week from that day. I did not want to be induced because I did not want to be on Pitocin, because I was on Pitocin with my daughter a little bit and I know it enhances the contraction, so I didn't want to do it, but I wanted the baby out so bad that I didn't even care. So that following Friday, April 5th, was going to be my induction date. So from that 1 week, I, again, tried everything in my power, but nothing was working. So the day before my induction on Thursday, my sister-in-law Christina was like, hey, let's go out to lunch, you know, to celebrate that you're having a baby tomorrow. And I was like, cool. So I grabbed Lucy and we go to lunch, and then I will never forget walking in the door of the restaurant, and she looked at me and she was like, oh my gosh, you are huge. Like, in the nicest way possible. But meaning that my stomach was like, dropped so hard, it looked so different, and I felt it too. Like, it just felt different. It was so big and like lower, and she was like, seriously, like, I think you're gonna have this baby today. I'm like, no, I'm not. And so we had lunch and we left. So when we got home, I was so sick. I thought I had food poisoning. I had diarrhea. I was like sweating. I was so nauseous. I thought I was gonna throw up. So I texted my sister-in-law and I was like, Christina, are any of your boys sick? Because we all had burgers and I'm thinking maybe the meat was bad. And she's like, no, we're all fine. Like, hey, maybe you're going into labor. Like, that's one of the symptoms. I was like, diarrhea and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm not contracting at all. So sure enough, I go on Google and it is one of the symptoms. It's like your body is ridding itself of everything, so that way it's preparing itself for labor. So I was thinking back of like my day and I'm thinking, what was I contracting a lot? And I just thought they were Braxton Hicks, but apparently they were contractions, just not as like intense. So we went about my day. I started to feel better. My husband came home from work. We had dinner and I got in the shower, washed my hair, took all my makeup off, get in my pajamas, and now it's about, I think it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I'm like washing my kitchen floor at 9 o'clock at night with the mop, and all of a sudden, trickle, 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 I felt my water break. And my water broke with Lucy at home too, so I knew exactly what was happening. That warm gush of liquid came out, and I just stood there and was like, oh, what's happening? Oh my gosh, I'm in labor, oh my gosh. And my husband was actually in the shower, giving my daughter a shower. And so I ran to him and I was like, babe, I'm in labor, my water just broke. And he's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, no, just finish your shower. I'm gonna go ahead and blow dry and curl my hair and get my makeup on, and then we'll go to the hospital. And he's like, what? Like, no, we gotta go. And I'm like, trust me, I'm not even having contractions, we're fine. So I'm just taking my sweet old time, blow drying my hair, curling my hair, like have music on, just living my best life. Call the doctor, I tell them what happened. They're like, okay, well, if you're not like contracting, you know, super frequently, like basically you can take your time. And I'm like, oh, I know, you know, no big deal. So I start doing my makeup and then it hits me, a contraction. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's a contraction. I remember what those feel like, because it is quite different than a Braxton Hicks. Like when you have a real contraction versus just a Braxton Hicks contraction, you know the difference. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's a contraction. Continue my makeup. 5 minutes later, another contraction. 5 minutes later, another contraction. And I'm like, oh, okay, I think this is getting a little serious, you know? And my hospital is about 45, 50 minutes from my house. So, and we had to go drop my daughter off at my mom's house to spend the night. So I'm like, yep, I think we should go, you know? So we get in the car, and I'm not kidding when I say about 10 minutes into the drive, my contractions went from 5 minutes apart to about 2 to 3 minutes apart. And we were still about 40 minutes away. And I'm thinking, oh no, this is not gonna happen. I'm not having this baby in this car. I am getting my epidural. Like, no, let's get to the hospital. So we dropped my daughter off at my mom's house. And by the time we got to the hospital, you guys, at 11 o'clock, my contractions were 1 to 2 minutes apart. We get into triage, and because my water broke, they had no choice but to like keep me, but I was only 3 centimeters dilated. So they were like, okay, well, you're only 3 centimeters dilated, your water's like leaking. So they didn't have like, they were not rushed at all. They were just like, we will get you into a room. And I'm like, honey, you need to order that epidural like right away. So when I get to my room, the epidural is waiting for me because I want it right now. And they're like, okay. So we get to my room at 12 o'clock at midnight. Get to my room, and my mother-in-law showed up, and that was so sweet. She was not in the room for my birth, my daughter. My mom, Sam, and best friend Chelsea were with Lucy. So when I had Tommy, I really wanted my mother-in-law to be in there so she could experience that too. I know everyone's different, but for me, I could care less really who's in the room. Like, it is such a joyous celebration, and it's so beautiful, and I'm crying already. I want people to like experience that with me. So it worked out perfectly timing because she got off work. She works afternoons and she was able to come. So anyway, we get my epidural. And now let me just share with you my epidural experience, because I had a very traumatic experience with an epidural with my daughter. So I definitely have like, I swear, like PTSD from it. I still got one for my second baby, but It was horrible. So let me just share with you guys really quickly what happened. So I have a slight case of scoliosis, which is like a curvature of the spine, I believe. I don't even know what it is. So I didn't think to tell them that, like it wasn't a question. You know, I had no idea what I was doing or what they were gonna do. So anyway, with my daughter, my first baby, we ordered the epidural. The anesthesiologist comes in, and he's a guy, and he's on his phone keeps ringing. He's arrogant. He's like, doesn't care at all about the situation. He's just rude. And here I am panicking because I have never had any type of like, nothing's ever been wrong with me. I've never had to go to the hospital. I've never had surgeries. I've never had like just normal shots. So this to me was a big deal, okay? And he was just so arrogant. And if you've never had epidural, like you have to hunch over your back. Your husband cannot be there. Like he had to be behind the nurse. So I'm holding onto the nurse or a pillow or something. And I'm bent over like this. And oh gosh, it makes me like literally nauseous. I'm not kidding. Like I can't even talk about it. Like my oh, sorry. Okay, I know I'm dramatic. So he's sticking in. I don't know if it was a numbing thing or. I'm sorry. I literally can't talk about it. It makes me want to vomit. He sticks it in, and I am like, you know, convulsing, like I'm jumping because it hurts so dang bad. And he cannot figure out where to put it because, I guess, of my scoliosis. I don't know. And he is like yelling at me, if you don't stop moving, I'm not going to do this. And he was so rude. Maybe he didn't, he said something along those lines like that. I couldn't stop. It was so, I'm gonna cry. It was so terrifying, like honestly terrifying because of how bad it hurt. It was so horrible. It was so traumatic. It was so traumatic. And I'm just sitting there with the nurse, and you could tell the nurse felt so bad for me. And I'm just sitting there, and I'm just like shaking. And at this point, I was having contractions every minute. So I have to go through these like super hard contractions, and this jerk behind me is just poking and pricking, and what should have been like a, let's say 10-minute procedure literally was like 20-30 minutes long. It was so excruciating and horrible. So when it came time for my epidural with Tommy, I made sure to tell the nurse like about my traumatic experience, that I'm freaked out. I really don't want it, but I know I need it because I am such a baby with pain. And so she made sure to tell this anesthesiologist what had happened to me. And they were wonderful. My nurse was wonderful. The anesthesiologist was wonderful. And that experience, even though it went better, I think it is way worse than pushing a baby out of you. And because I was so nervous for the epidural, my body was still shaking, uncontrollable. I'm getting emotional because it was like honestly horrible. And I'm sitting there with my pillow, and I can just feel like my warm salty tears just like falling from my face. Like I wasn't even me. I just was so panicked, and it hurt so bad. I swear I have PTSD from the whole situation. But 5-10 minutes later, I can't feel a thing, and I can care less about it. So it all worked out, you guys. I mean, I hope that I don't scare anyone from epidurals, because they are a wonderful, beautiful piece of medicine to use. But it was very traumatic. Anyway, so what happens to me when I get an epidural, you guys, is I literally look like a crack addict after. Like my body itches so bad, and I shake. So I'm literally like this in bed, like itching everywhere. No joke, you can ask my husband. It's unreal. And the nurses are like, honey, stop itching, because it's an internal itch. Like, you itching is not going to stop it. And I'm like, okay, I'll stop, you know? Like, so anyway, so when they checked me at 12 o'clock before my epidural, I was already at a 5. So I had moved up 2 centimeters from a 3 to a 5 in 1 hour. After my epidural, at 1 o'clock, I was at a 7. At 2 o'clock, I was already up to, I want to say, like an 8 or a 9. So things were moving very progressively fast. And let me just paint you a picture of like what's going on in these like 2 hours after my epidural. HGTV, take a little nap, eat some ice, watch some TV, talk, relax. It was just so peaceful. Sam's sleeping. My mother-in-law and I are just talking, watching shows. Like, oddly peaceful, oddly calm, no pain, not one contraction did I feel. Like every time the nurse would come in, she's like, how you doing? I'm like, fine. She's like, this is weird, like nothing's happening, you know. Usually like when women are laboring, it's screaming and you know, it's just not a scene that you see a lot, you know. And anyway, so my nurse came in at about, I want to say 2:30, 2:45, and they checked me, and she's like, honey, you're at a 10, you're like there. And I'm like, I am? And she's like, you don't have any pressure like in your butt, like to like have a bowel movement, because that's how it feels, I guess, when you're about to push. And I'm like, nope, no, I don't feel anything. And she's like, okay, well, you know what? Let's give you some time and let me know when you start feeling that pressure in your butt, and then we'll go ahead and start pushing. And I'm like, okay. And my husband and mother-in-law are like, let's just start pushing now, you're at a 10, let's go, let's go. And I'm like, nope, because this is what happens. Same with my daughter. I get so panicked at the end, because it's like, okay, now it's happening. Now this is the part that is like so, you know, painful, and they're about to come out of you. So I start to panic. So I'm like, nope, we're just gonna take our time and wait till I feel something. And this part was so amazing as well. My best friend Chelsea, I've had her on my channel here before. We've been best friends since kindergarten, and I'm very close with her and her mom. And they couldn't sleep because they knew I was in labor, and they end up showing up at the hospital right before I would push. So I remember them walking in the door, and it was probably like, I don't know, maybe 3 in the morning, and they walked in and they're like, seriously, that's how you look right now, because my hair is curled, my makeup's on. I'm like, yep. She's like, and you're about to push out a baby, that's great, you know. So they showed up, which was like so amazing. I just, like I said, I love having people there. And I said, you know what, it was about 3:15. I said, let's go ahead and get the nurse in and start pushing. I don't know, like honestly, I was just like, okay, let's go ahead. Like I had no feeling down there, so I'm like, I don't know, let's try it. So the nurse and doctor came in, and we get my legs up, and I do a practice push, and they're like, okay, he's there, like you are definitely gonna have this baby right now, you know. And oh my gosh, so we get ready to, I wait for my contraction. So we do one big push, and I come back and I go, hold on you guys, I'm like, I need some music on. And they're like, what? You know? And I'm like, it's so quiet in this room. Like I cannot tell you how like calm everything was. It was just so odd to me, you know. And I'm like, okay, hold on. So I grab my phone and I put on worship music, and the worship music started to play, and oh gosh, I'm gonna cry. And to push out your baby listening to worship music is like the most peaceful, like joyful, oh gosh, like welcoming of your child that God had gifted you. And it's just so emotional and amazing. And I put that worship music on, and it like just, I don't know, it just made the room so peaceful and calm. Even though it was already peaceful and calm, it just brought like the Holy Spirit into it, and it was so beautiful. And yeah, 3 pushes, 9 minutes, my son was in my arms. I don't know how, but it was just so fast. It didn't even really hurt. I think I made like one sound of like, ugh, like that was it. And there was Thomas David Morabito laying in my arms, screaming his head off, and oh my gosh, it is just so beautiful and amazing. And it was so easy. It was so stinking easy. That's why I'm like, I have to have another one. Like I'm just made to have babies, I think. Like, so he was perfectly healthy. I was perfectly healthy. I did have some tearings. I had stitches. And I left the hospital the next day. Like, no big deal. Just pop a baby out. Let's go home. Like, I would rather be in my own bed. Some people love hospitals and love getting waited on by the nurses, and I hate it. Like, they come in your room every hour, waking you up, poking you, pricking you. Like, oh my gosh, just get me home, you know? So, everything was perfect after that. The only thing, Tommy failed his hearing test. And so I think a week after he was born, we had to take him to the hospital, and he passed it. He was fine. Sometimes I guess fluid gets in there. So yeah, that is the story of my birth. So easy, and I hope this gives you guys like some motivation if you're pregnant or gonna have a baby in the near future. So if I had to give any advice to expectant mothers, I mean, obviously every labor and delivery is different. My two were just extremely easy for whatever reason. I feel like I'm just made to have babies. I would say labor at home for as long as possible. I think honestly getting ready, doing my hair and makeup helped me tremendously. Honestly, like even my mental state, because I'm just someone who takes pride in my looks. Obviously not today, but it made me feel so much better. I also had a matching pillowcase with my nightgown. I bought that. I would recommend that to everyone. Honestly, if you have an expectant friend or family member, buy them it on Amazon. I will link it down below. It made me feel like a little bougie babe in bed with my matching pillowcase and my cute nightgown of flowers. Everyone complimented me on it, said it looked so cute. And it just made me feel prettier. It made me feel better because trust me, when you're laboring and you're about to push a baby out of you don't feel so pretty. So having my hair and makeup done with my matching little set just made me feel so much better. I did not have that with my daughter, so this honestly helped me so much more. And like I said, just labor at home as long as you can. Try and be stress-free. And I know if you're like a first-time mom, that's really hard to say because you have no idea what's happening. But just try and be as stress-free as possible and let things just happen naturally and just go with the flow. And then you get to meet a little baby after, and it's so precious. And now I have baby fever and I want to do it again. We'll see, we'll see. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing my birth story of my son. He is such a little firecracker, oh my goodness. He is a wild child. He is so full of energy. He is so feisty. He's so tough, and I love every little bit of him. And I'm just so glad that God chose me to be his mother. And I'm so thankful for both my children. It's such a beautiful journey. So thank you guys again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
We've been walking down this road sometimes.